What's up? This is Clint Lowery from Sevendust, and I'm back on Good Company with Scott Bowling.
Good company!
Hey guys, my name's Scott Bowling, and today we have returning to the show, my friend, Mr. Clint Lowery.
What's up?
Yeah, man. Today we're gonna talk about his new solo album. We actually played a couple songs, which will come out later. We also have a couple of fan questions from your Sevendust fan page, which is really cool.
Yeah. They're the best people to ask.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they know
Thank you for
it
being
all.
here, bro.
Oh, my pleasure, man.
So you got a new album coming out, 2019?
Yeah. It'll be my first actual solo record. You know,
Right.
I've done, as you know, we've talked about. I've done projects that are kind of solo releases. You know, there was the Hello Demons Meet Skeletons, which was an acoustic-based project at first to kind of get away and just kind of scratch a more of a melodic itch, you know, so to speak. And then, years later, there was the Call Me Nolan thing I did with Morgan, and which was, a lot of that stuff I wrote and I sang on, but Morgan had a huge part in terms of just kind of helping guide that ship a little bit. Mm-hmm. But 2019 will be the first release under my name.
So do you have like a band and everything? You got?
Not yet, man. No, I mean, there's a few people that I'm looking at in terms of when I do take this on the road. There's a short list of people I'd love to take out. But as far as doing a record and everything, I'll probably hire a drummer, and everything else I'll play myself and do.
So how many songs do you have now? I mean, you said you're kind of doing like a little studio stuff.
Yeah.
You do that all yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, right now, at first it was kind of like finding the home for, how I'm gonna release this, what I'm gonna do, what kind of direction. So I've been writing a ton of songs. I got about 30 ideas that are just like, some are very old, some are new, but it's just really honing in. Like, I got this opportunity to release my first record, and it's going to be pushed by, a label and stuff. So I'm like, well, who am I? Like, what kind of record do I want to do? There's no ceiling on it. It's liberating, but at the same time, it's a lot of pressure. And so I'm just slowly developing music. And like I said, 30 songs maybe, and some are like completely finished and I recorded with an engineer, and some are really infant stages,
So with like Hello Demons Meet Skeletons, you had kind of a solo, kind of acoustic vibe. I didn't mean solo, acoustic kind of thing. With Call Me Nolan, it kind of picked up a little bit. What kind of direction do you want to go with your solo?
Yeah.
Is this something you want to do kind of lighter or more melodic, or?
It's like, I know it'll kind of be a hybrid. Like, people are always like, do another Call Me Nolan record, do another HDMS, and that's what all this is really going to be. It's just I'm stripping away those names, and it's going to be an evolution of all that stuff. It will probably be pretty melodic. They'll have songs that have edges to them, nothing to an extreme of a Sevendust, nothing like that. But it'll be heavy in a different way. Some of the songs are kind of pushing. It's like a quirkier, darker atmosphere to it. So where there's Sevendust, which is such a great formula, and it's a well-oiled machine, where this will just be, it's just really what I love musically, what I'm influenced by. There's old 80s like bands that I used to, not hairband 80, but like Peter Gabriel, these old Depeche Mode and The Cure, and these old new wave synth sounds that I really love, that a lot of people are kind of reintroduced to them for the first time. So I love all that stuff. So I'm going to add, that's the beauty. I can add any of those elements, and it won't be weird. If I put some of that stuff in the Sevendust, when I try to inject that in the Sevendust, it's just like, no, man. Sevendust fans are like, no, we ain't going to have it.
When did you have this idea where you're just like, I just want to try something different? It's been an idea for going on for a while now?
Yeah, man. I kind of put it on hold for a while. And after talking to my wife about it, my family, my manager, I was just, I love, one of my biggest honors has been writing vocals and collaborating with LeJean and other singers. And and it's been huge, the connection. When you write lyrics and you write these experiences out, there's a connection that happens between those lyrics, and the goal is for that to have a connection with the people. And I love seeing LeJean connect with those lyrics, even if it's words that I write and he connects with it, there is an intimate connection that happens. And I really have a yearning to have that direct, because it's like, not that, LeJean is the middleman for that or anything, but it's just more about, I want to have a straight connection with those people. I want to sing those words to them. I want it to be, it's like a relationship, and I want to have that. And it's not an ego thing or anything like that. It's just something that I want to have that one-on-one thing with the fans and with myself,
I was watching YouTube and I saw a video of you doing Call Me Nolan, like it said first live Call Me Nolan performance. I don't know if it was, but
it was rough.
What's that like going out there? Is it nerve-wracking? I mean, you're fronting the band. I mean, how do you warm up to something like that?
Dude, I will, and going back to LeJean or any other singer that I've worked with, it's a whole different animal. Like, the confidence that you need to go out there to connect with them, to talk to them, and that's something that I feel awkward a little bit in that position, because I just don't, I'm not the David Lee Roth type, yeah, man, let's do it. I don't do those kind of things. So when I first went out there, when you're in the studio, you can sing and everything is great and it's all kind of dialed in and you have everything kind of, edited up. But when you go out there and you're live and you're between the songs,
what's that like? That's crazy.
That between the songs is the most humbling situation, because all of a sudden people are like, okay, who are you?
Yeah.
What are you going to tell us that we're going to believe? So I just found the humor. I'm like, my thing is that I'm not good at this, and you guys are going to be amused by seeing how awkward I actually get.
Yeah.
I didn't want to not talk either, but I've only had a little bit of experience doing it. So every time I did, I got more comfortable. And I think it's just one of those things I just need to get out there, put myself in that position, and try to be as sincere to the people as I can. And just, I don't think my niche is going to be being a front man that makes everyone put their hands in the air and wave them like they don't care. This will be more like, hey man, these songs mean a lot to me. I hope they mean a lot to you, and just speak from the heart.
Is Sevendust going to take a break for 2019 when you're doing all this? Or are you going to kind of juggle both?
No, I think the plan is, always respect to the thing that is Sevendust, the machine, and my brothers in that band. Every album has a cycle. Sevendust will probably slow down at the end of 2000 this year. And I'll record the record sometime in the summer and the spring, and then it'll be released kind of right when the Sevendust thing starts going dark. So there'll be a good amount of time between, the Sevendust cycle ending, releasing the solo record, and going and playing shows around that, and while Sevendust is shut down. So there won't be a lot of juggling. Maybe a little bit if Sevendust has a couple of shows here and there. But when that Sevendust train stops, I'm going to start this up full on.
Yeah, I really like what Mark Tremonti's doing. He's doing the solo thing too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, he's really killing it. Maybe you guys go on a tour,
Oh, dude, I mean, I have a huge. He's kind of doing exactly what I want to do. I think our sounds will be a lot different, but I think it will be I do have a kindred spirit in him. I just think he does a great job at what he does, and he's building it, and he's taken a couple steps back, and there's humility. When you start something new, it doesn't matter. You have to build it up. You have to prove yourself, and he keeps doing it, keeps putting stuff out. And
John did like a double album, didn't he?
Yeah.
Really something like that.
Yeah,
That's really neat. That's a lot to go on.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do something with all those guys. But at the same time, this is something I want it to be different. I want it to be a thing where the music is different enough. Otherwise, if I'm gonna do something around the same, the same style, it just kind of seems like I would just save all that for Sevendust. So I want new fans. I want the Sevendust fans to embrace this as much as they can. There'll be some people that are like, I don't know about all that, but I'm not concerned with that. I want to do something that's fresh, that inspires me. And there's a few bands out now that are doing some amazing things, and just
yeah.
It's an opportunity.
Cool. And so right now you guys are you're about to do your Sevendust Home album, start to finish, man.
That's going to be fun, man.
That's going to be, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's it like playing all these songs from start? I mean, when's the last time you played some of these deeper cuts?
Man, so...
Grasshopper?
Yeah, so we rehearsed Grasp, and Grasp has always been this song. For some reason, it was like this song that we didn't feel like it ever really matched our vibe. It was just like kind of this, I don't know if we use the word sexy, but there's this verse thing, we joke around about it. So this song has kind of become the song that we poke fun at ourselves with. But we're playing it, man, the last few days in rehearsal, and it's like it's killer. It's like it's fun.
Should keep it then.
It's like it's kind of like in LJ's wheelhouse. So it's been fun. So like we finished the song the first time. We're like, man, is this song kind of cool? But then there's like you're playing some of the songs, and it's just like it's so far in your creative past. You're like, man, what were we thinking?
Yeah.
But I have a lot of fond moments, fond memories of that record.
Yeah, and then Licking Cream. So you need to get a female out there.
Yeah, Madam Mayhem. She's gonna get out and do it with
is
us,
she?
man.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, she's gonna kill it.
And of course, you're gonna have Chino's gonna be there. He's gonna come out with the masquerade.
I wish, man. God. No, man. I wish. We saw Chino not too long ago,
did you?
And we played a show with him in Sacramento, and they killed it. We didn't even mention it to him. We knew we were doing the show, but I think John's going to kind of sing a little bit. I'm going to sing a little bit of it just to kind of simulate Chino, but we were not going to do it because we didn't want to do it wrong. But I don't feel like it would fulfill the.
You should get Vinny to do it. See?
Yeah, well, he does the grasshopper leading up to it.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do that. But yeah.
So you nervous about playing all these from?
I am.
Yeah.
Half of them we've been playing for a long time. Home, Denial, of course, Waffle. We've been playing those songs a long time, so they'll be fresh.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know those pretty well, but the other ones, it'll be weird.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
So last time you were on the show, this wasn't even out yet. All I See Is War.
Yeah.
And you guys keep getting stronger and stronger with each record. And it's amazing. I mean, what was it like being in the studio doing this album?
That record was interesting, man, because we had more time to develop it than we had, I think. We had about a year to really write and start putting stuff together, and we knew we were going to change the production team. We had worked with Mike Ferretti on 3 records prior to that, so we knew we were going to get a producer. Elvis, we were a huge fan of what he did through the Tremonti. We were mutual friends with him. We liked him and Jeff, the engineer that works with Elvis. So we knew that team was going to bring. Just knowing we were going to enter the studio with a producer makes you just bring a different game.
Yeah.
You bring your A game, that this is going to go through a producer's filter, and it'll be kind of just picked apart a bit. So we knew Elvis was going to be there to do that. So automatically it changed the way that John and I were presenting ideas. And we wrote a lot of songs. We came very well prepared, and we just had a great time with Elvis.
Taking a year though, that's good. You guys couldn't take a year back when you did Home, right?
No,
that was like
there were 18 days off between that official ending for that first cycle from the first record into the studio. It was like 15.
Toby
days.
Wright did that too, right?
Yeah, Toby Wright. Yeah.
Are you guys going to keep working with Elvis? Is that? Or maybe have Elvis on your solo stuff, maybe.
Yeah, well, there's talk about that, man. I love working with Elvis and Jeff, man. They're such they're rock producers, but they understand all alternative metal and just they get all of it. They can do it all. So there's a good chance that Elvis and I will work together on that. There's a couple other people that I'm meeting with. They're just like developing songs. Different production teams that can bring different. Sonically different things that I've never done before, and I think that provokes me, that pushes me out of my comfort zone a bit.
It seemed like some of the songs off All I See Was War was kind of out there too, like maybe Medicated. I can't remember which one it was, but you kind of had some weird intros going in and out that I've never heard. My mind's kind of going blank right now. But
it's funny because a lot of those intros are like placeholders with keyboards that I would just do, for like
Stranger Things. That's why I kind of get that vibe off of. Yeah.
And then like Not Original and even Unforgiven. It's a real standard keyboard, nothing real in depth. Like other people that do like programming and soundscaping would be like, that's so like amateur, but. Elvis, he thought it was charming. We would listen to those as placeholders for a long time, and I was always like, we got to replace that. And he's like, let's just keep it.
Yeah.
And there's one that's kind of hokey, but it's like now it's grown on me.
Which one's that one?
It's before. Where is it at? Oh, it's Descend.
Okay.
No. I'm sorry. Moments. It reminds me of like Sammy Hagar or Van Halen right now, kind of like it has all that like old 80s, but it's cool. And because I know because I loved all those old 80s intros and stuff,
Yeah.
it's just kind of, I like it just now because it's kind of just growing on me. You know?
Was it their idea to put out so many videos all at once? Because I know YouTube's huge now, and that's a way to kind of get your stuff out there. It seemed like you guys were popping videos like really quickly. So
it was a different release strategy, and that was Tim, our manager, and then with Rise and their creative team, they're like, instead of putting a song out and just letting people kind of digest that,
like a lyric video, but you guys put a real video.
Yeah, and there was the plan was, let's do 3 videos and release them a couple weeks apart from each other leading up to the record.
That's
just
smart.
this promotional, and it was different, and it was an interesting rollout. And I'm not sure if we'll ever do it again, but it was something like, we got to try this. And it was kind of cool. There was a continuity between all the videos. Creatively, it looked kind of the same.
Going back to your solo album that's not out yet, would you ever think about just doing singles,
Yeah.
Or just doing a full-length album, anything kind of different?
It's funny because we talked about this, maybe releasing an EP and then releasing a full length, just to give them something like an education on what this is. So the EP would be just a way to kind of introduce what this is, and then do a full length after. But I think because it is a new thing, we're gonna do like a full length just to have enough content to go play shows. But then after that, I want to break the mold a little bit in terms of, I don't want to do full releases. I don't want to wait 2 years to do a record. I want to just sprinkle songs here and there and just release it and kind of feed it like that and see what happens.
Would you do some like music videos too, or lyric videos with your new
Yeah,
stuff?
we're gonna do all. I mean, we're gonna do a good. I'm gonna release this on the same label that does the Sevendust stuff, with Rise BMG, and so there's a plan for this.
That's great.
Yeah, we're excited about it. So I'm sure there'll be videos, and I'll feel very awkward in that situation, but it's part of it. But yeah, it's gonna be.
So I got some of your older stuff here. I know we've been through them once before, but now that I have these fancy props, I figured we'd talk about it again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Chills. So this was your solo, your first kind of going out
one,
there.
yeah.
I call it solo, but
It is.
You got a band, and then you got the second one was Words That Sing Well. This was a little more heavier too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it had actual, I had another drummer that came in. The production was kind of lifting up a little bit, and there was a lot of programming and stuff with that. First one was really raw. That was starting to evolve into more of electronical meets acoustic kind of atmosphere for that.
And then, so did this come next afterwards, Uncomfortable Silence?
Yeah, and that was, I did that in my
This
basement.
is like a demo thing. It was like 4 songs.
Yeah, and I just did them all in my actually in my basement, and my brother just kind of mixed it up real fast, and it was intended. That's actually my grandparents'
that's their house
that we lived in for years. My
that's cool.
younger cousin took the picture one day, and she did that. She's a graphic designer. She's doing that. I always loved that cover.
That's really cool. And then we today we actually got to play a couple songs off Call Me Nolan. No pressure trying to play percussion after Morgan Rose.
Yeah, you did awesome, man.
Thanks, man.
It was meant to be stripped down.
So this is your signature. You signed it real big.
Yeah. I think I could go a little bigger, man. What do you think? Let's do it all the way.
But the songs, we'll go over the songs we played today because I'm definitely gonna put them out. Soapbox. Can you talk a little bit about Soapbox?
Yeah, Soapbox, man. When I got sober, there was it's actually a song that I'm kind of writing to myself. Because kind of what I perceived, the way people looked at me as a newly sober guy around a bunch of people that still drank a lot and did their thing. And I felt like at times in early sobriety that I was not really judgmental, but it was like everything that I was doing and saying, everyone's like, okay, here comes this guy that's like spiritual now, and he's got sobriety, and he's got God in his life, and he's got all these things. So it was more about me just kind of poking fun at myself for the way I perceived them perceiving me.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of like, and I say that I had experience because I remember when people would get sober and I would see them come with this, and there's a lot of people that would get sober and they would have that kind of like judgment, and so I remember the way it made me feel. So here I am kind of flipping around into that role, that sober guy, that's Captain Sober coming in the room now. And so it was kind of like that, you just kind of, acknowledging, I know that what you think, I know that you think that everything I'm saying is me on some pedestal saying that I know all the answers, when in fact I knew little to nothing. I was trying to figure out how to exist around people. So it came off that way. So it was kind of like I was I was beating people to the punch. I was like, I'm gonna talk about how annoying this is before you do, you know.
Do you feel comfortable being around people that are drinking and everything, or is it still kind of weird? I mean, does it matter? I know I've heard Slash in interviews talk about he actually prefers it. Yeah, he says it's kind of weird if it's not. I feel like people are.
Well, you know, it's funny because I anytime I'm at dinner with friends or whatever, it takes them like. I'm used to not drinking, so I figured out tactics on how to be a little more social because it's super awkward at first.
Right.
But like, you know, I like when people get a couple drinks in, and you know, I'll laugh at my wife all the time. Like, she'll have like a glass or two, and like her second glass, she starts saying nicer stuff. I like this. I like when especially in the tension of people sitting down at the table and they don't know really how to interact, and they have the drinks, and then it starts getting comfortable, and then that's cool. That phase is great. Then there's the other phase where they start getting real loud, start saying weird things. So it goes from awkward to very comfortable to super awkward.
You need that sweet spot. It's that first
and that's when I leave. I leave right when it gets weird and dark and people start getting real close to my ears and grabbing my neck and, you know, and doing what people do when they have a good time. Man, people are having a good time. I just can't do that anymore, you know, and I set my boundaries, man. But when people do it, it's not like I look at them and I'm like, man, if I could drink responsibly, you know, and just stop after one or two, I would. But I can't, and it's all good, man.
I've heard about people being like green and sober. Have you heard that? Where people like Jamie Josta is like, I don't drink, but I'll smoke with Cypress Hill, you know.
That weed method.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you know what? And that's good. My hats off to him for that. I mean, you know, there's definitely lesser evils, you know. But I give myself that. I give myself everything.
I really like what like Sonny's doing and Wes doing with Rock to Recovery.
Yeah,
have you ever thought about like volunteering something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super tight with those guys, man. We have a little sober circle, you know, and we're constant communication. I'm always really excited and proud of them for doing that. That thing has been going for a while now, and they've really hustled and made it something special, and they've done a lot of good work in that world. So we talked about doing like a St. Louis chapter where I was involved, but I'd have to really be off the road and I'd have to be committed to that fully. So that's why.
Yeah, it seems like a job, like a 40-hour week kind of thing.
It's full. It's like they clock in, man, and they go work with wounded veterans as well as alcoholic, you know, people in the addiction world. So it's a huge thing they're doing, and I definitely am interested in just maybe participating any way I can. You know, it's a service thing to me, but yeah, man, they're doing awesome.
I forgot to talk about choices. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah. Yeah. So you put out a book, right? Like this is cool.
Yeah, man. It was like a deluxe package, man. I was really the Jill, the girl that did that, the artwork and everything. It was such a great package, man. And what's cool about it is I really wish there was a vinyl. That's the only thing that I like. But it was like kind of before the vinyl was just everywhere. Mm-hmm. But I loved tangible, the size of it, making sure that it was like, when I was a kid, I used to look at artwork while I would listen to music. Yeah. And I was hoping that would be the case with that, where people would like listen to it, kind of zone out and just watch and look at the art and read the words, and that experience. Yeah. I just like amplified it back into the album size again. So hopefully to get people to do that.
That reminded me, have you ever thought about doing a book? I may have asked you that in the past, but man, you'd have a great story to share,
Yeah, you think? I don't know. Yeah. There's been times where I've thought about it, and I feel like there's some chapters that need to kind of play themselves out. The solo thing coming out is a huge part. I think that really needs to happen, because I have something to say with that.
I loved it. Yeah, that would be amazing.
And it's always that, would people be interested? But I feel like because of the recovery aspect, there's an element to that I would love to share. Again, I'm still working my kinks out in life, working out who I want to be and how I want to.
You can make it like half a motivational, half tell your stories.
There's been a lot of people that have inspired me. I've read Eric Clapton's book. I've read Anthony Kiedis. Anyone that's gotten sober, and you read their books. I love that. There's not a ton of people in the music world that walk this path, and when you do find the ones that do it, I just have a connection with them, because I understand, it's not the norm. It's this other life, but a lot of people do it, a lot of very creative people, and they don't lose any creative steps, Everyone worries about, if I stop drinking and partying, am I going to be able to write songs? I'm like, well, you'll just be productive in a different way. You know?
Yeah, that's very important. I also got some fan questions here.
Cool, I like fan questions.
Yes, from the Sevendust fan page. I hope I'm saying everybody's name right. Jana Lang, she's from Europe, says, Scott, can you please ask if he will do a tour or a solo project, and if he will come to Europe and do it?
Yeah, man, yeah.
Travel to Europe.
I mean, Europe is, it's one of those things that Sevendust hasn't done a ton. But the fans, I had a lot. I went over there with Seether before, and we've done this. We just came back from the UK, and the fans there. I mean, just like just here, people in general. But the passion they have for music there it's really, it's a different brand of passion, man. They're really loyal fans, and so I'd love to get over there as much as possible. There's bands that break over there that can't really do much here, and there's vice versa.
How long did it take you guys to break in Europe, starting out from your first album?
Man, well, it's
gradual,
still,
or is it?
It's a very gradual thing, but if you don't continue to go there, if you put a lot of time between touring over there,
you can tell?
They kind of say, you're not really coming back. But if you're a band that consistently hits it, man, they will follow, if it's good, if it's something that they like. But yeah, if you're loyal to them, they're loyal to you.
Sammy Lynn has a question. When can we expect to hear anything soon from Call Me Nolan or any other side projects in the works? So I know you touched about your new solo.
Yeah.
But what about your old stuff? Are you gonna bring that back out? Hello, Demons Meet Skeletons?
Yeah, I mean, I like in terms of like really, when I do solo shows, all that will be under the same umbrella. I'll play a few HDMS songs. I'll play Call Me Nolan songs. Morgan, he's part of the Call Me Nolan thing. So if we were going to do anything like that, it would have to be with him because he is part of that sound,
Absolutely.
And he's such an incredible drummer,
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
So, Call Me Nolan, I would probably, again, that would fall under that umbrella. So there's songs in there that I really like a lot that I would end up playing, but it would be, anything that I was involved with. That's why I started calling it Clint Lowery's HDMS, because I just wanted that to be, it is mine, but I was kind of like, like Trent Reznor has the Nine Inch Nails. He didn't want to, I didn't really even think my name sounded cool enough to have it just be Clint Lowery,
Yeah.
And I didn't want to use Lowery because my brother is also a musician. And I don't want to be like, this is my name and you can't do anything. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely, but this year, 2019, man, for sure.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. Chris Raymond. This one's a good one. The writing process for the band is different compared to your solo stuff. In the band, you bounce stuff back and forth between you guys. But in your solo efforts, describe the writing process. And after all these years, what still drives you and your musical creativity?
That's
a
question.
deep question. And then he put, how's
7-part
He put,
question.
how's that?
Yeah. All right. So
you want me to read it again?
Yeah. No, I mean, I set mirrors up.
Yeah.
So like when I'm writing, so I have people to look at. No, I mean, writing within a band. I mean, there even with Sevendust, there is an element of me by myself. Like John and I put a lot of the music together by ourselves at home in our little creative circle, and then we introduce it to the band. There's times where in a band, and every band has it, it's a struggle because not everyone is going to be on the same page. Not everyone's going to want to see or do things the way that you want to do it. So there are compromises. There's things, and Sevendust is great at compromising because there's certain things that LeJean sings great. There's certain things that Morgan plays and John and Vinny on down the line. So some of the things we do have to kind of fall in line with that formula. With this, I don't have to get anyone else's permission. I don't have to do it. For better or worse, it's all on me to design all this stuff and make those decisions, which I'm completely comfortable doing because I just love this process. I love writing. I love the challenge of it. When it's good, I love it. When it's bad, it's a learning experience. When I say bad, it's music. It's all opinionated, but if I don't get reactions out of people, to me, I want people to be moved by it. Like if I hear a song and it's honestly saying if it doesn't make me feel a certain way or if I don't like the way it sounds, I move on. So I see people's reaction if they don't respond. I'm like, oh, maybe I could do that better. It's like I never feel like at any time that I've mastered any of this. But again, that process is what I love. So with doing the solo stuff by myself, it's such a liberating thing. And there's so much pressure because when you lean on other guys, when I'm not having such a great creative day, I know they're going to come in and fill in the gaps, you know.
So what's harder when you like writing riffs and writing lyrics too? I mean, what's hard? You're probably natural playing guitar. So
Yeah, that's the easy.
You write all your lyrics. I mean, do you go blank sometimes? I mean,
man, yeah. I mean, it's like melodies first with me. Like I'll write the melodies and I'll write the music and I'll just drive around and listen to songs. And
do you have like a pen, like in a pen pad kind of thing, like writing stuff like that?
I'll go in my notes. If a lyric, I'll sing over and over, and if something sticks out, I'll like a lyric there or something, a topic that I really like, I'll go in my little notes and I'll write just the basic words and I'll go back and revisit it. You know, usually. But the topic, that's the hardest thing for me. Like, what am I going to write? I'll have the melody and I'll sing it like, na, 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 na. And then I'm like, what do I want to say? You know, what do I want to say? And then you start like looking at a body of work. I'm like, all I'm talking about is this negative or this sad or how someone hurt me or how I'm going to get someone back. And like, you know, I'm like, I got to change it up. I want to say something else. This isn't who I don't walk around in a constant anger state. I'm happy sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm going to write about that. I get hurt by certain things, or I start thinking about when I'm going to die, or I think about how much I've lived or what I've done. Like I want to write about those experiences in a way that people are like, man, I did that too, man. I feel that same way. That's the biggest thing is like any artist I've had that I listen to and they say something, I'm like, man, I wish I can't believe they said that. Yeah. That is exactly how I feel. Or man, that person, that guy or girl, they're really putting out their feelings. They're taking off they're not hesitating. They're just saying it exactly how they feel. And that's what I want. I don't want to put this Yoda poetic spin on my lyrics. I want to say exactly what it is in a way that sings well and it sounds good melody wise. You know, I feel like melody's first, lyrics are second, you know, because melody moves people just as much as the lyrics.
What you said's great, man, because I do the same thing with interviewing. Like, I analyze it. I'm like, oh, I love the way this came off and stuff.
It's good. I think analyzing, people are like, oh, you're overthinking. I'm like, maybe thinking needs to happen more. You know, maybe think more about it and push it and try to grind it out. Some things come super fast. Like some things you'll interview or something you're doing that some craft that you're working on. Some days it's great and it's easy and you're like, man, I'm the best. The next day you're like, I'm the worst and I need to start from scratch, you know? It's just part of the badness.
I love like your death growl. And I love that you're talking about writing happy songs. So you should do like a happy song and
with with heavy vocals.
Yeah.
There are some, we tapped in it with Sevendust. There's like songs that are about absolute positivity, but we're screaming it in a way, that sounds aggressive,
Till Death, I think we talked about
that.
That's amazing.
That's right, yeah.
Amazing song. But,
good memory.
Dude, man, I appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for jamming. That's great.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I didn't laugh in the middle of the interview.
I know. Well, we laughed a little bit.
Yeah, it's good. But appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, brother.
All right, man.